Today I want to talk about unhappiness. I feel like a lot of people are struggling with that right now. I'm not talking about those of you who are struggling with depression. That's a whole different ballgame, something that we can talk about later. I am talking to the people that are not really depressed, but you're not quite happy either. You should know by now, true happiness cannot be found outside of yourself. True happiness does not come from an external source. You can't find true happiness in another person either. Somebody can contribute to your happiness, but they can't make you truly happy. You are the only one that has that power, which also means you're the only one that can allow yourself to be unhappy as well. And then you have to ask yourself, do I feel like I deserve to be happy? If the answer is no, then that's going to be a big part of your healing journey. Figuring out why you don't believe you deserve happiness like everybody else. Every creature on this earth deserves to be happy. Everyone is part of God, source, universe, and all of humanity is equal. So everyone is equally deserving of happiness, regardless of what you've said, thought, and done in this lifetime. You deserve to be happy. You cannot blame your unhappiness on COVID, on the Black Lives Matter movement, or the riots, or the general state of the world. Happiness does not come from an external source. In that case, it would mean that true happiness is actually fleeting, and that changes based on the direction of the wind. And that's not the case. True happiness is in you. I'm not talking about temporary happiness, I'm talking about true happiness. True happiness is in you. It's not something that can be easily broken or beaten down. Once you reach true happiness, it takes a damn army of darkness to tear you down. So if you are unhappy now, it means you were also unhappy before all this shit hit and before all hell broke loose. So stop looking at the events happening around you in the world as an excuse or a cause for your unhappiness. It's not the case. You have to start taking responsibility for your happiness. You are the only one that has control over it. It's not just a cliche or a popular meme. It is truth. And the faster you can accept it, the faster you can start working on healing and moving and shaking like you're meant to. You have to start taking a more active role in your happiness. I know it sounds easier than it is, and I can promise you it is not. Otherwise, we would have all mastered it by now. What you can identify, though, is that what you've been doing up to this point obviously isn't working for you. You might as well force yourself to try something new, to work on a new approach and be open to new ideas and exercises. In this video, let's just talk about the first step to happiness. The first thing that you have to do is be honest with yourself. It's probably one of the hardest things you'll do, but you have to be honest with yourself. If you are not honest with yourself, you will never find true happiness. So you got to ask yourself, who am I being? What am I doing to bring more happiness into my life? Are my thoughts, feelings, and actions actually contributing to my happiness? Or are they taking away from my happiness? The first step in finding your happiness, true happiness, not temporary happiness, you have to heal from your past traumas and pains and hurts. You cannot use your mind as an advocate for your happiness if it is bogged down with unhappy thoughts and memories. You can't use your mind to heal a problem if your mind is the problem. If you have deep traumas in your past that you have not healed from or dealt with, that's step one. You cannot do it alone. If you could, you would have been healed already. So you can't do it on your own. You need help. I would recommend finding a professional therapist, counselor, psychologist, or psychiatrist. Now, if you're thinking it's a waste of time, I totally understand. I've been there, done that. I thought, what can they tell me that I don't already know? And the answer is a lot. They are unbiased, impartial, and they can call you out on your shit that you're not willing to be honest with yourself about. They can give you exercises to overcome your trauma. They can help you to see your trauma from a different point of view. They may also have tools or processes that help you overcome trauma faster. There's things like EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which is actually supposed to be a quicker way to heal from traumas, especially deeper ones. There's also hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, emotional freedom techniques, EFT, where you use tapping to reprogram your brain. The professionals, are trained in matters of the mind. You are not. And if you are trained, then you know how important it is to seek professional help. So counselors and therapists, they seek help themselves as well because they know what's good for them. They know how important it is to face your truths. There is no real easy way around trauma. I know some people try to do spiritual work to overcome trauma, and I'm telling you, it doesn't work. You're trying to use spirituality in your mind to overcome a problem in your mind. All right, you can use spiritual healing and gifts and tools and stuff like that to aid you in your healing. But the first step, again, is going to be your mental body. If you are not ready to do the work, then you're not really ready to be happy, are you? If each hurt or trauma were a brick, and you have this wall built up in front of you of these bricks, you cannot heal by going over the wall, or under the wall, or around the wall. The wall's still there. You cannot run from yourself. What you can do is you pull one brick out, you acknowledge it, you look at it, you work with a professional to heal it, and you let that brick go. Now, if it's a small brick, there's a chance that you can actually work on it yourself and heal from it. But bigger bricks, you have to use a professional. And then you do the next brick, and you pull the next brick, and you look at it, and you work with it, and you heal from it. And then you toss it, because you don't need it anymore. And until the next brick, and the next brick, until all of the bricks have been removed, and you can move forward in your healing journey. And I'm not teaching you something new, right? You already know what you have to do. I'm just here to remind you that you are worth it. You are worth the work. You are worth the pain. You are worth what you have to go through to get to the other side, because every single creature is worthy of happiness. Even you, yes. The world needs you, right? It needs more people who have done the work and healed. And then, of course, the more you heal, the more that you're helping others to identify the healing needed within themselves. On a spiritual level, on an energetic level, we are all one. We're all one big entity separated into, what we believe is smaller entities, but we're all one. We're all connected. So the best way that you can spread your love and heal the world is by healing yourself. Once you've healed yourself too, then you can get more in touch with your spiritual gifts, your intuition, your energy healing, whatever your gifts may be. You can get more in touch with those so that you can help others overcome the same thing that you went through. You cannot understand others, you can't help others or help heal others if you haven't done it for yourself first. We have three main human bodies. That's the physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body. If the mental body is unhealthy, the other bodies will follow. In the mental body, thoughts create emotions. Negative emotions create an imbalance in the emotional body. The physical body then responds to the mental and emotional bodies. Negative thoughts and feelings attract things like disease or dis-ease and an unbalanced physical ecosystem. So if you want to be physically healthier, you must first heal the mental body, then the emotional body, and then finally the physical body. Once you do that, the body kind of returns to a homeostasis or balanced status, and then you give yourself the best physical experiences you can have. When the physical body isn't healthy, it too affects the other bodies. It's really hard to be truly happy if you're living in pain, especially if it's chronic pain, disease, or illness. So they all tie in together. They work hand in hand. But the biggest one that has to be worked on first is the mental body. As you heal the mental body, your brain will start firing neurons to happier places in the brain. It will eventually become habitual for the brain to be wired for happiness. You will be absolutely amazed at how much happiness you're able to allow into your life. And it's honestly one of the hardest things that you will ever do in your life, working on your own shit, right? Especially the mental stuff, especially the traumas and the past hurts and pains. One of the most difficult things you'll ever do. I can attest to that. But also, one of the most impactful things you can do for yourself in your life. When you get to the other side of that brick wall, life is grand. It's amazing. You'll be living a life that you really only dreamed of, and all you have to do is do the work. And then you can reap the magnificent rewards. Thanks.